The thing is, we get into trading for freedom. If you stay on the charts all day, you might as well go back to a 9 to 5. It's extremely stressful to trade all day. Very
Yeah.
stressful. I think it's a really bad way to live life.
People who want to break the 9 to 5, buying into Bitcoin and then thinking they're going to get out of that within the next 6 to 12 months is not going to happen.
People might roll their eyes at this, but the reality is, it doesn't matter if it's Bitcoin, trading gold, day trading, whatever. You will not make money in these markets until you work on yourself.
I wonder if you should actually become a Bitcoiner.
You guys aren't going to like me.
Oh,
Can I say something?
Totally.
I think Bitcoin's going to zero.
Interesting. I think you're way off.
Well, what would you say to that?
First of all, there's a statistic, Daniel, which is any asset class that has reached $2 trillion has never gone back down.
Okay, but
I'm Matthew Fraser, and this is Crypto Collective. After making millions with Amazon and e-commerce, I realized that if I was starting again today, crypto would be my first choice. I'm here to help you take your first steps and build real wealth. Ready to set yourself up for life? Let's go. Today's guest is Daniel Holmes. He shares his transition from contestant on Married at First Sight to a full-time day trader and educator who assists everyday people to trade profitably through building a winning mindset and helping them escape the 9 to 5 matrix. On YouTube and his platforms, he shares live sessions, market insights, and education. Let's jump in. Hey, again, thank you for taking the time to come on, Daniel. I really appreciate it. I've been following some of your videos and they're like, congratulations on what you're doing, honestly, because it takes a lot of balls to obviously do what you're doing. And particularly moving out to bloody Dubai, I'm sort of a little bit jealous in a way that you're actually doing it. What's it like over there?
it's everything I thought it would be, to be honest. Yeah, it's insane. Just a lifestyle, and just there's so much wealth here, man. It's insane, and everyone's killing it. Everyone's doing really well, and I don't know. It's everything you probably think it is.
So let me just frame this for people, right? So Daniel Holmes, trader, and I love the name Holmes, by the way. I used to have a BMX bike called Holmes. No shit.
Okay.
I love it. So trader, and you would say gold trader, crypto trader,
Yeah, gold and NQ. Yeah.
NQ. So not crypto?
Nah, because I day
Okay.
trade. I don't know if day trading crypto is the best. You'd probably
Okay.
better. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you made some splash on the TVs of Australia through the MAFS program, which was probably a couple of years ago now. Would you say you used part of that sort of celebrity to help leverage into the next phase of your life within trading?
Maybe, but unintentionally, not in the sense that the show did anything for me, but more in the sense that the show made my life stop from what I was doing
Right.
at the time. Yeah, like
Yeah.
everything is just like, okay, stop, go on this show. And then when the show ended, it's like, fuck, what do I do now? Because I didn't want to go back
Really?
to what I was doing prior, which was personal training.
Hmm.
And that point of like, oh shit, my whole life stopped to go on this show. And now I have to kind of figure it out again. That's where I stumbled into trading. Yeah.
Right. So you've gone from Married at First Sight. Things are
Mm,
going fantastic. You're all over the TV.
mm.
Girls everywhere, no doubt. Right. They're Daniel, right? Signing autographs and selfies. Yeah.
No, not quite, but
Is that not okay? I'm just imagining how
yeah,
it must
yeah.
be.
Well, I had a
Um,
girl from the show, so I was straight in a relationship after the show.
okay.
But yeah,
And the
it was
question now will be then, well, is that still going?
definitely not. No, no, no.
Okay,
So
that's finished.
when you go on the show, it's just like it's like a quick burst and then it's over. So
Okay.
anybody that goes on the show for the fame or whatever, it's very short-lived.
Yeah.
Very short-lived. So like you got to figure out what you're going to do after that because it's not going to last.
What made you then? So you finished the show. You've then, as you said, you sort of came to a point where you're like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to
Mm,
do personal training. How did you then discover trading?
mm, mm. Well, it's a bit of a deeper one, but I guess coming off the show, there was definitely like depression. I was pretty lost because I came off the show. I think I was 30 years old,
Okay.
and I'm like, man, I'm a 30-year-old dude. I've done one particular thing most of my life, which is work in the fitness industry.
Hmm.
I've always had the urge to try to venture out and find wealth in different departments. I've always tried to start small businesses publicly and behind the scenes, and nothing really worked out. So I was super depressed, super depressed. And I was just like, I specifically remember typing into Google top earning jobs in the world because I was like, I'll do anything. I'll go back to university. I'll do anything. And it was like doctor, engineer, and one of the third ones down was trader. And I was like, what the hell's a trader, man? Like, what is that shit? I've heard of a
Right.
trader. I don't know what it is though. And I started looking into it and realizing you don't need a degree. It doesn't care about what you've done in the past. It's just you on a screen. And I was like, there's no way that this has been here all along. So I started looking into it and I was hooked ever since. Yeah.
Wow. It's interesting you say, you reach rock bottom. And just to share a little bit about myself to you, Daniel, I went through a phase recently in the past sort of 10 years. I bought a Hungry Jack's restaurant with my wife when I was 29 years old. We thought we'd made it. We were like, we're the kings, right? We've got this store. And 1 year down the track, the government did roadworks, right? But like a highway. The sales went south and we went into, the short version is, Daniel, we went into another further $1 million of debt. We had no money. We were living on credit cards. And I, as a Hungry Jack's owner, was now on the Gold Coast doing Uber,
Wow.
right? I was driving Uber for probably 6 to 12 months on night times, weekends, right? Because we just didn't have any money, right? I've got this fucking Hungry Jack store that I've now got to service, right? Pay wages on and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And that to me, and I remember this, and this just, might resonate with this, but I was just walking on the street one day. I was sort of in my depressed state, right? Thinking, how am I, a young 30-year-old with a Hungry Jack's restaurant, have no money?
Yeah.
Right? This is not the life I had envisaged for myself. How did I get myself into this shithole? Because I was on the, course of the tax office every couple of months, putting bass on debt payments, right? And I remember just thinking, all I want, it's like I was praying to God. I was like, look, all I want is a 4-bedroom house in the suburbs and a WRX car. That's all I want. That's all. I'll be happy with that, right? And it's just funny because, and it was at that moment I started, other doors started opening up for me as well, right? I started thinking about bringing in more money. Obviously, I did Uber, as I said, but then I found Amazon, selling on Amazon. So ultimately, that's kind of where I sort of made myself through Amazon, did about $70 million through Amazon, and now I'm in the crypto space. But it's interesting in your story though, because you can there's these times in our life where, like you said, you're at rock bottom, you're depressed.
Yeah.
Now you look back and think, shit, I'm in fucking Dubai.
Yeah, no, it's insane. Yeah, and I honestly think most trader stories stem from something like that, a rock bottom moment or something, or an entrepreneurial spirit, because there has to be a component of that in order to find success in trading, I believe. It's a hard game. Like it's very difficult and it can be very painful at times. And it requires a certain type of hunger in order to push through that, I think. But
Yeah.
yeah, most traders that find success, it does stem from a story like that. That's crazy
So
though. I can't believe you own 100 Jacks.
yeah, I know, of all things. And the funny thing is
Yeah.
I forget about it. Like, someone says, because my wife now runs it and
Yeah.
now I now do the Bitcoin thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I have a small little online community and mainly what I do, Daniel, is I now help people move their super into Bitcoin through an
Oh,
SMSF. That's basically
wow.
what I do. And then I get to do,
Wow.
talk to cool people like yourself on a podcast, you know what I mean? Which I just love
Damn.
to do and, meet people and stuff like that. I met a
Yeah.
guy just before you from the United States, you know what I mean? He's big in the Bitcoin space and, so
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. I just want to dig a little bit deeper, Daniel, into your story because what was it? So you've started trading. You were living in my old hometown because I used to live in Brisbane, funny enough.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think from the shot, were you living in the Fortitude Valley?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. I used to
Yeah.
DJ in nightclubs in the Fortitude Valley
Nice.
for like 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Can you believe
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
So you're there, you're now doing this trading thing. What was the moment where you went, you know what? I'm going to go to Dubai. What was that? What and why?
Well, from the moment of finding trading, so at a real low point, found trading, decided I would rather die until I make this work. This has to work. There's no plan B. So obviously there was 2 years of eating shit. I sucked at trading for 2 years. I just gave back all my money for 2 years straight. Started to find success. Still had a 9 to 5 at this point. Like I just had a side job just to make money to keep the ship afloat. Fast forward like 4.5 years to now, that success started to come in 3 years, 2.5 years into the game. I started to find actual financial success through trading. And then the interesting thing with trading is once you make $100, you make 200, 1,000 a day, and then it just compounds so quick that it's unreal. Like it's weird. So things are compounded quite fast for me the last 6 months, I would say, especially.
Mm-hmm.
And then to the last like 3 months, I quit my 9 to 5, started finding massive success with the trading, and just said, man, I got to get out of here. Like, it's just a calling. Like, it's just, as I just start to find more success in life, I get closer to God. I find that I'm just making the right decisions. I'm removing all vices and just, I always say in trading, it's not about like the technical side of trading is easy. It's
Mm-hmm.
about who you are, because who you are in the market is either going to dictate whether you're going to give back the profits or keep them. And
Mm-hmm.
if you get better as a person outside of the charts, your success on the charts is going to reflect that. And I went on a massive journey of that in the last 2 years of getting better as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And as I started that journey, my success in trading just went through the roof, to the point
Mm-hmm.
where, yeah, quit the 9 to 5, move to Dubai, and just bite the bullet and say, man, I'm doing it. I don't I don't have to pay tax over here.
Well, this is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I want you to be completely upfront and,
Mm.
and say, look, hey, I moved to Dubai because I'm making a shit ton of money in Australia. The government's taxing the
Mm.
bejesus out of me. And I'm like, no, fuck this.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to go to a tax-free jurisdiction. I mean, mostly tax-free.
Oh, of course. That's like one of the biggest factors for sure. Like, it's the tax-free component, it's the
Hmm.
lifestyle, it's everything. Yeah. But
Did
obviously the
you go
tax,
to Dubai, Daniel, before you've made the move and sort of like suss it out? Or you just went,
no,
I'm
just bit the bullet
really,
straight away. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. But I'm that type of person, like you just got to make the decision. And I'm pretty tapped into like the calling. Like, I feel like I'm just called to do it. So I just
Hmm.
listen to the voice. I just do it. And the thing is, if I came over here for a visit and said, oh man, I'll just feel it out, I'd
Hmm.
go back and I wouldn't come back. I know it. So it's like you got to make the
You
decision.
basically burned the boats. That's what,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. It has to be done. And that's like, I think that's for all major life decisions. Put your back against the wall. I operate best when my back's against the wall kind of thing. So
Mm. Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, that was exactly right. That was like in my case, my back was up against the wall. We had to make things happen, and I went and did Uber. But obviously there
Yeah.
was things that led after that, right? I found the Amazon course, and then
Yeah.
sold.
Yeah.
I basically just started selling things around the world. My
Right.
biggest mistake that I wish I knew that you've done, and this is probably why I
Mm.
said I'm a little bit envious in a way, and I know, and I congratulate you for doing that, is because I didn't move or go to a place that was going to be financially treated best.
Right.
Right. I've stayed in Australia. I've
Yeah.
copped all the taxes.
Yeah.
One of my last tax bills recently was like $1 million for
Yeah.
the freaking year. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um,
Insane.
and I should have done what you're doing is actually move to a low tax or no tax jurisdiction. So one of the things I'm coming to terms with now is like, hey, should I do that now?
Why
Right.
not?
Well, things have progressed. I've now got two young
Yeah. I was
girls
going to
and,
say family, and yeah, well, that's where my benefit was. I don't have kids or a family just yet. So it was like, act now. Yeah.
mm.
Yeah.
And so what's happening now in the trading space? Do you operate like out of as like a group of people, or
Yeah.
you teaching
Well,
people? What are you doing in that space?
yeah, I've got a community of
Hmm.
guys. Like, I've got a community of just like free online presence, I guess. I live stream my trading every day on YouTube. So I trade
Hmm.
live every day, and then have a mentorship community where I'm teaching other guys to do the same. But yeah, it's just show up twice a day live. I only trade live. Well, I do trade off stream, but I trade two sessions, a Asia session and the London session,
Hmm.
live both times. So one with the mentorship and one in the free YouTube community.
Hmm.
And that's it, man. Just show up and trade these funded accounts and just pull money out of these markets. That's it.
And what sort of results are you seeing? And just so you know too, Daniel, I don't know much about trading. So
Yeah.
whatever you say is like, yeah, you know more than me.
Okay.
I'm more of like I'm in the crypto space. I'm just pretty much buying and holding Bitcoin for the
Right.
most part.
Yeah.
I'm not sort of playing the markets as per se. So what you do is like wizardry to me.
Like day trading. Yeah. 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 Do you know what prop firms are?
No.
Okay. So like essentially you can there's and this is like what most traders are doing. You come into the space and you can pay a fee to prove that you have the ability to put a certain amount of money on an account, and then they give you access to that money, like $100,000, $200,000, and that's called prop trading. That's what I do, and that's what I teach my students to do, which is to trade these funded accounts. So that's
Can
what
you
I
just
do.
break that down a bit more for me, Daniel? Because
Yeah.
I didn't quite
It-
understand that.
It's
So
hard to understand, but it really is that simple. Like, a company will, it's not real money, but the profits you make on it is real. So I
okay,
can pay two hundred
are you
dollars.
leverage?
What's that?
Are
Yeah,
you
it's
talking about
leverage.
using leverage?
Not necessarily. It
Okay.
really is a sense that you'll have $100,000 account and then you can
Hmm.
trade that money, but
Oh,
it's
I
not
see.
your
Right.
money.
But how do they back that then? You said you had to come to the party with some evidence or something.
They'll give you a simulated account
Oh, I see.
and
Okay.
say, if you can put 6% on this simulated account under these conditions with this stop loss, you can't lose this much, we'll give you access to this money.
Okay.
And again, it's not real money, but the profits you make on it is real.
I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like once you profit on that, it's a 90-10 split. So you'll get 90% of the profits, they'll get 10.
Oh, okay.
And it's called prop trading. That's what I do. I just milk these guys. I'll get funded on this account, and just stack
So
them all
you don't
together.
even have to have your own money now.
No.
This is like a light bulb moment for
Yeah.
everyone watching this.
The barrier of entry into trading now is just insane. But believe me, it's very difficult to get funded. The statistic is about 97% of traders fail to get funded. And then those that do get funded, only like 1% get money out of it. So it's very difficult. But once you
Wow.
do
But you've
get,
got it.
yeah, once you do get to that point where you have the ability to do it,
Mm-hmm.
it's a cheat code.
Wow. I think we
Yeah.
can probably just end the podcast there. Everyone's got what they need.
It's
Everyone's got what they
insane,
need
right?
now.
Yeah.
So what sort of success are you seeing? So I guess with these other guys, okay, let me ask you this. If these guys are coming to learn from you, do they also have access to this same prop trading,
Yes.
or does each person have to have their own individual prop trading account?
They have to have their individual account, but they have access. Like, it's free to the public. Like, anyone can buy a prop account. Yeah. So
Do they have access under your account is what I'm getting at, as like a sub account with
no,
access that, okay.
no.
Okay.
But
They
like,
have to sort of
I've
do it
got
on
like connections with some, and I can get like obviously discount codes and stuff like that. But yeah, anyone can just buy their own account and get cracking away at it. So
Wow, that's crazy. And so
and there's
tell me about some of the things that you're doing with these guys and some of the success stories. I'd love to know.
yeah, it's simply guys just come in. So I have the entire method and way in which I found success in trading in terms of strategy. I have it all mapped out. Right. So they come in, they learn the strategy, dive into the content, and then we're in this small community. We work one-on-one, and it's just like every day the goal is just to get a bit better than we were yesterday. And we do it
Okay.
live as well. Like, it's all live trading, so we're talking through it as it's all happening. And yeah, that's it, man. Every day get better than it is yesterday. And it's not about, I don't care about their dollar amount. I don't know how much they won, lost, draw. I just want to know if they got better than yesterday, because consistency is the goal. If you can win if you can get $100 a day over a month, that's better than me hearing that you made 10 grand today. Because
Yeah.
10 grand you made today, you'll also lose tomorrow. But $100 a day shows me that you have the ability to stay consistent emotionally. It's all emotions.
Yeah. And so would you say, this is a good question, is that you talk a lot about mindset, 'cause I've seen a lot of your content, a lot of
Yeah.
about mindset. Can mindset and trading be taught, or is it mainly instinct?
That's a good question. Yeah, that is a good question. But yeah, it's taught. It is taught. You can come in preconceived ideas. You can come in with like a stronger mindset for trading or weaker. Typically, the more successful guys in the business department come in with bad mindsets, because the mindset of like a successful business guy is smash through barriers, hard work. If you fall down, you come back twice as hard. But that in trading is counterintuitive, because in trading, when you lose a trade, you got to close the computer down, walk away, and and get on with your day. Where like the
And not
mindset of
cry?
yeah, but the mindset of a winner is, now let me get back in there and make that money back. That's the mindset of a high achiever. But those guys, that mindset kills traders. You
Right.
literally have to
So it's the
walk away
opposite.
after a
It's the
loss. Yeah,
opposite, Daniel.
it's the opposite, which is interesting. So like in the mentorship, we talk a lot about mindset and the attitude to come into the market. It's like, man, you get 2 trades a day, because anything after 2 trades, you have the potential to go on tilt, like emotional tilt, and then you
Oh,
start revenge
well,
trading.
that was I was watching one of your videos, and you were like, you were saying to some dude, you're like, oh yeah, I was going on tilt, and I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So what does tilt mean?
Tilt means
Just going off.
I think it comes from like blackjack. What's the game, the card game, how they have to hide their emotions? I
Poker.
think it's poker. Yeah, yeah. I think that's where the term stems from, where like
Oh, okay.
somebody's so like nervous because they know they've got a bad deck, that they're tilting, they're showing their emotions, and
Oh, okay.
their emotions are coming up. And that's the same thing on the market. If you lose a trade, you're gonna feel the emotions come up, like, oh, fuck, they got $100. Let me take another trade. And you lose another trade. Now there's $200. You're like, all right, fuck that. I'm getting this back. I've got to double down now. And then
Yeah.
that's where it spirals out of control.
So
And
what
so
would the advice be at that point then, Daniel? Just walk away?
there's so much advice for that. And
Okay.
there's so many different ways to approach it. Unfortunately, nothing I can say will ever change anybody from going on emotional tilt. I can
Hmm.
say you have to put these barriers and entry and these things in the way to avoid it, but
Hmm.
it eventually like the unfortunate thing is it'll come to a point where that person is so mentally exhausted from giving their money back and going on tilt that they're just going to be like, man, I just have to stop. I have to stop. In my mentorship, the rule is you get 2 trades a day. Win, lose, or draw, 2 trades a day.
Okay. And that's it. So once you've done those 2 trades,
Call
then
it a
that's it
day.
for the day, right? You
Yep.
go have a sleep, you have to think about it, you move on to doing other
Yep.
things in your life, and then
Move on. Because the thing is, we get into trading for freedom. If you stay on the charts all day, you might as well go back to a 9 to 5. It's extremely stressful to trade all day. Very
yeah.
stressful.
It's
Yeah.
interesting you say that because I've seen videos, not yourself, but just other traders, and they seem to be glued to the computer,
Yeah.
right? So that's kind of like the opposite of what you're saying, right? You're now just traded your 9 to 5
Your
for
nine to
another
five.
like 12 to 12.
Yeah, 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 exactly. I think it's a terrible way to live life. I think it's a really bad way to live life because there's going to be plenty of days where you sit there all day and then you finish the day down thousands of dollars. Terrible way to
Mm.
live life. Where it's much
Which
easier if
is,
you have, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's interesting, Daniel, because what you're saying then is there's enough money to be made by just doing 2 trades a day.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I sit down for the Asia session, which is about an hour and a half, and then again for the New London session, which is an hour and a half. So that's 3 hours a day. I'm sitting in front of a chart, talking to the community, having a good time, talking about freaking pyramids in Egypt. Like we just have a silly goose time. And then,
Now
oh,
you can
okay,
talk
so
about Dubai.
yeah, talking about Dubai, and then see our setup, and then we'll take the trade. All right, guys, good trade. See you tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so what is the success rate, I guess, of your trading? Do you have like
Of
a
me
number
in
like, oh,
particular, or
70?
traders in
Yeah,
general?
just, no, just like like in
Or
the,
like in terms of the strategy, I have a high win rate strategy, right? So
okay.
we're not taking massive RR trades like massive risk to reward where I'm risking 1,000 to make 50,000. Like
Hmm.
I'll typically risk 1,000 to make 1,000. So with that
Hmm.
being said, the hit rate is relatively high.
Yeah,
Um,
interesting.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And then with prop accounts, like honest, like it's hard for me to say because in terms of the money I make on the market is just it goes up and up every day. Like my first day in Dubai, I made 4.2K in Dubai as I got here, just taking a trade. I was like, yes, what a great way to get like to arrive
What,
in
you're in the
Dubai.
taxi? You're in the taxi doing the trade on the way to the hotel.
No, I got back to the hotel and set the computer up because I'm like, man, I got a live stream and then boom. But
Wow, that's
yeah.
insane. So that'd be USD,
Oh, that was Australian dollar. I'm still
Australian
thinking in
dollars.
Australian
Okay.
dollars. Yeah.
Which is powerful because, and that was done in the space of what, 15 minutes?
Yeah, yeah. And
And
it's
and you
crazy.
you could possibly pull off 2 of those a day.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting there in a Dubai, just like, what even is life, bro? Like this, why are we not getting taught this in school? Like,
Mm,
but it's very
mm.
difficult at the same time.
I wonder if you should actually become a Bitcoiner.
Well,
Um,
you guys aren't going to like me.
I
Can I
like
say something?
everybody. Totally.
This is
Bitcoin's a
gonna,
scam.
your whole audience is going to kill me.
No, go.
I think Bitcoin's going to zero.
Okay. This is controversial stuff. This will
Yes,
make a
this
great
is,
reel.
yeah. Can I say why? And
Yeah,
I only thought
absolutely.
about this the other day.
Hmm.
And this isn't me influenced by anyone else. I was just thinking about this. And you're probably going to have a great counterpoint to this.
Yeah, we're going to
But
say Daniel Holmes tells us right now why Bitcoin is going to zero.
okay, this is my opinion. I think as humans, we're terrible at telling the future. Think about the movie Back to the Future. We thought we'd have hoverboards. Any like time we've tried to predict what the
Mm,
future is going to look like, we've got it terribly wrong. And I understand that Bitcoin is based on the logic of this is the way that society is moving, this is the way digital currency is moving, and you know, I guess however else you would explain it.
it's a
I
monetary system, I guess. Or
Yes.
mhm.
And I guess in short terms, I just think that as humans, we're really bad at telling the future. And if we put so much of an emphasis on what we think is going to happen, it's typically been wrong. That's all. That's all it is. I
Interesting.
could be way off.
Um, I think you're way off, but,
Yeah.
but I appreciate your comment because there's obviously a lot of
Well,
FUD out
what
there,
would you
and it's
say to
just,
that? What would you say to that?
well, I would say that first of all, the network adoption is so large right now; it's very hard for it to go to zero. There's a statistic, Daniel, which is any asset class that has reached $2 trillion has never evaporated. Right, it's never gone back down. It's reached the escape velocity.
Okay, but I won't say zero. I mean, you know what I mean? Like just 10,000, or like, you know what I mean? I
Right.
don't literally mean zero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't literally mean
Because
zero.
other people say that like literally mean it's going to
Oh, okay.
zero.
No, no. I mean like, yeah,
But
10K, let's say.
well, I mean, it may. Yeah, there is an argument that it could. However,
Okay.
statistically, this will be interesting for you. The Bitcoin price has never gone below the previous presidential election. So President Trump was elected November 5th. The price
Hmm.
around that date was about 71,000 USD.
Yep.
Statistically, in the next cycle, it won't go below that figure. So 71. Now, for some people though, that's practically what you're saying though, because if it went from 100,000 USD now to 10, that's like a 90% drop,
Right.
right? Now, it could go all the way to 300,
Yes.
500,000. Some people are saying, right? This cycle, right? So basically between now and maybe early 2026, let's say it goes to 500,000 and then has a retracement. It could possibly come all the way back down to 70, which is basically what you're saying is could be the equivalent of going from 110, right?
Right.
People will see it as that base has gone to zero, right? It'll be
Yeah, that's all I'm
70K,
saying.
but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that is absolutely on the cards. And that's why you say that if someone has held Bitcoin for more than 4 years, a minimum of 4 years, they're in the green as opposed to red because it always comes back around and history shows will always be higher. What I'm getting at though, Daniel, more so is I can see where your mind is at. You're talking about God, you're talking about freedom, you're talking about a higher calling. You talked just before about, oh, and these are all like Bitcoin things, right? You talked about,
God comes into Bitcoin?
yeah. I just had Brian DeMint on. Brian DeMint is actually the author of this book here called Bitcoin Evangelism. Very, very religious, good Christian guy.
Wow.
So he does Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He's probably in his mid sort of early 40s now. Very much into health. I mean, I know you are. You're a healthy looking guy. You know what I mean? Obviously, being a personal trainer, everything like that. So,
Yes.
yeah, it's ultimately I think also it's a freedom movement. That's pretty much where Bitcoin stemmed from, right?
Yes.
And yeah, so that's and you talked about schools. That's what I was going to lead to there before. You know, we're not taught about really the true monetary system in schools,
Yeah.
right? The monetary system is broken money, right? With money debasement, inflation. It's basically geared to keep us poor
100%.
and just stuck in the matrix system. This episode is brought to you by CoinStash, the crypto platform I use for my SMSF. End of financial year is the perfect time to simplify your crypto super. CoinStash offers same-day setup, Aussie-based support, and access to Bitcoin and over 1,000 digital assets. Right now, CoinStash is offering up to $200 in Bitcoin when you make the switch and make a deposit before end of financial year. It's simple, compliant, and 100% Australian owned and operated. Hit the link in the show notes and book your free call with the CoinStash SMSF team today. Back to the episode.
Yep.
And when I say to you, hey, look, you know, I applaud you for doing what you do, I'm genuinely saying that. You know what I mean? Because to me, when I look at you, I think, man, this guy's onto something. He's as you mentioned, come from rock bottom, found himself. I know you've also stopped drinking, right?
Yep.
I don't drink alcohol.
Nice.
Right, I don't do drugs, don't do alcohol, nothing like that.
Yep.
And because I don't want to have my mind altered, right?
Same.
I also didn't succumb to the C19 shot, right?
Nice.
I avoided that.
Yeah, awesome.
I stood against that.
Good man.
All my family stood against it, my children, everyone, right?
Beautiful.
And I don't want to be, and I'm not saying I'm better than people who did. Okay, I just want to say
No.
that. Okay, because I know some people sort of were forced to take it because they had to put food on the table.
Exactly.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
I was in a very good position where I could basically not do that. And just through interest, and you know, I sat down with my wife and I said, look, the government is now trying to impose this on everybody. What are we going to do as employers? Because we've got this with this store, right?
Yeah.
And I said to Paula, we will close that store down, right? We'll just shut the doors before we force any one of our employees to take something that perhaps they don't want to take.
Love it. Yep. Awesome.
And that was because of our own moral values.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's where I'm coming from. And Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's just some of the things you just said there really resonated to me, which kind
Yeah.
of led me. So this was interesting as I was talking to Brian about this, was the whole COVID thing made me question now authority, question
100%.
doctors, which up until that point, doctors would say something, be like, oh, okay, well, that's right. I
Yeah.
didn't even question it, right? Now I'm questioning like everything,
Definitely.
including the monetary system. This is kind
Yes.
of where it led to, right?
Especially that. Yeah. And especially once, so here's, you know what an interesting thing is here? I've been broke my whole life
Mm-hmm.
until the age of 32. I was broke for 32 years.
Mm-hmm.
So then going from that to I'm 34 now, I've only really had money for like a year or two.
Right.
And then that went from like, hey, I have a 9 to 5 to I can
Mm-hmm.
kind of do what I want. Now the perspective I have from being like, oh my God, I was broke for that long and now have money, it's like I can see exactly what you're talking about. Like there's it's just, and I know this is like a weird thing to talk about, but society is genuinely structured for you to be poor.
Hmm.
Because having a 9 to 5, I used to think everything was really expensive. And
Mm-hmm.
now I have money, I'm like, shit, things are kind of cheap. Like a guy
Yeah.
just cleaned my car for $90. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, I would have been like, that's so
I'll do it
expensive.
myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, fuck, I feel like giving him more. That's, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just interesting the perspective change I've had to be like, wow, I've been broke my whole life and now I have some cash. My
Mm.
whole perspective's changed on everything. It's insane.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'll
yeah.
tell you something interesting. I'm now dematerializing things, right? And when I saw your video and you were like, I'm selling off this stuff, and
Mm,
then in your house to move
yeah.
to Dubai, and I looked around in my house, I'm like, fuck, a lot of shit in this house. There's a
Yes.
lot of stuff to have to get rid of, so to speak,
Mm,
right? Before I was to up and move out. But I'm actually making steps. So in recent times, I have a car collection, Daniel. So just for interest, it's a Subaru WRX car collection because I
okay.
just love them,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like the '90s versions. And I had like 7 of these cars in this. I bought this commercial property. I stripped it all out, made them all like a showroom basically.
Right.
And that's because I think, like yourself, like, as I grew up, I grew up in Caboolture. We didn't have much money. I lived
Yeah.
a good life though. Like my parents provided, but we weren't rich.
No.
And then I was working at Macca's, then I was working as a cleaner and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my dream was like, oh, I've got to buy these things. And it's not to impress anybody. I just want to say,
No.
I wasn't like, I was just because I thought, I've got the money, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm now having a full shift though now after having these things like selling off the cars. I'm allocating it to Bitcoin, of course. And so, there's this quote now, which is obviously, you will own nothing and be happy.
Mm.
My new quote is, I won't own nothing but Bitcoin and be
And be
happy,
happy.
right?
Nice.
Because I think it comes back to this whole freedom thing,
For
right?
sure.
Because these possessions now, I feel, are tying me down.
Right. Definitely. And there's some sort of emotional attachment to every material possession you have as well. So it's like, do you want your emotions kind of spread out like that? But on that point, do you know what's interesting
Mm,
with the idea of me selling everything and coming to Dubai? And
mm,
this is probably good for some people that are trying to do like a similar thing, which is to find massive success in the markets. Because that's what most people are doing, right? Especially in Bitcoin, they probably are 9 to 5ers and trying to find massive financial success in the markets.
yes.
For me personally, and I truly believe this, whether it's Bitcoin or any sort of financial success, typically the person you are, the way you've lived life, and the mindset you've had is the reason why you haven't had that financial success. So for me, moving to Dubai and selling everything, it's kind of me just kind of saying goodbye to my old life.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm finding success now, but I have plans to make that triple time. And in order to do that, even physically, I've got to shed all this past shit. I threw away all my bodybuilding competition belts, like first place trophies, everything. Nothing
Hmm.
means anything now because who I am and the character that I am now, I never want to break character,
Hmm.
is none of that. That was who I was. So I think that's an interesting component of going from who you are to who you want to be is basically saying goodbye to who you were. Yeah.
Yeah. And also having a different response to money. When you talk
Mm,
about being broke
mm,
before, maybe you maybe at some point, a lot of people, I'm not saying you in particular, but other people think they're not worthy of having monetary success or having
yeah,
abundance of money, right? There's like, oh
definitely.
no, other people have that. I'm a broke person, and you
Yes.
hate the other people that have got money, though.
Mm,
Like you hate them,
yeah,
right? I see this all the time.
for sure.
But people have to, I think the one thing I say is people need to, first of all, take responsibility for their own actions.
Massively.
And when they've made bad decisions, to say, look, I made a bad decision. I've done it. I'm human, you know what I mean? I make bad decisions still,
Yeah.
right? I'm trying to also improve just like you
Yeah.
and be a better person and provide a better life for my family. That's what you're doing. Can I just switch this, Daniel?
Yeah.
Now that you've come into this money, what are your goals now? Have you set goals like, hey, I've got this money now. I'm gonna, for example, I would be like, hey, I'm gonna allocate to Bitcoin now, and
Yeah.
as a building wealth, because obviously the trading is almost like building the money.
Yeah.
But where are you thinking to store the wealth? For
Yeah.
example, property, or I don't know. You tell me.
Well, the first thing is none of this is for me. It really
Mm-hmm.
isn't. It's for like a vision in my head of a future family. Because
Mm-hmm.
anytime I make it about me, it goes bad. Every time it goes bad. So that's the driving factor. It's like, who is this for? It's for a few. It's an imaginary thing. I'm making
Mm-hmm.
money for an imaginary people that I don't even know if exist yet. So that's like the core of it. But in terms of like taking the money that I have or that I'm making and making more of it, I can trade. I just keep trading. Like the more capital I get, the more I can make, and obviously I'll allocate to longer term holds.
Mm.
But really, like trading is it. It's everything. I do other things on the side, like I have affiliates and other money sources incoming, but
Mm-hmm.
trading is my baby. Like it
So there's
really is.
no real like, hey, I want to buy, properties or
No,
just nothing like that. And is
no.
that, I'm just so strange, but I honestly think that you are set to become a Bitcoiner as a
Oh,
store of
really?
value. Yes, you've got all the traits. And so what a lot of people do is they might do trading,
Mm.
okay? And they're like, you know what? Let's just say you've got $500,000 sitting in a bank account, right?
Yeah.
Because at some point you're gonna have this money sitting there, right?
Yeah. Right.
It's like, what do I do with that now? If I leave it in the bank, it's basically going down at like 10 to 15% a year, value wise, right?
Mm-mm.
So what you do is you then just allocate to Bitcoin, which currently is doing 60% per annum compounding, 60%,
I couldn't
right?
do it. You guys are gonna hate me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do
And you
it.
hold it there for a long, long time. Yeah.
Because, okay, let me ask you this. The S&P
Yes.
500, for instance, like that has, and you probably hear this argument a lot, which is like it's got a longer historical data of
Hmm.
consistency.
Yeah. But Bitcoin has been the best performing asset
Yes,
and it doesn't have
because
any
it's so
more than
volatile.
16 odd years though.
Yeah,
Yeah, and don't you love that as a trader, the fact it is volatile? They
no.
say volatility is a feature, not a bug.
Yeah, it is. It is for day trading, but for my long holds, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you'll convince me one day.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll start
I'm
to
going to send
shift.
him some videos now. Like, hey,
Mm,
watch
mm.
this guy, Michael Saylor, for
I was
example.
gonna say your ideal. Have you ever had him? Like he must be your ideal guest.
Oh, do you know Michael Saylor? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
He's put billions in. Is that
Yeah,
he's like the main
yeah.
guy? Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like I guess you would say, like the face of Bitcoin. He's like
He
the
is.
ultimate Bitcoin evangelist.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
now got 600,000 Bitcoin within his company.
Crazy.
And, but he had this wake up moment, Daniel, after 2020. COVID
Mm,
happened. He was living in it. That he could see the money printing that was happening, which obviously made everything go up in value, not value, but all prices went up, right?
yeah.
Because of the money printing. He had a business that was doing a software company, okay,
Yeah.
like a mini Microsoft, basically. And he had about, I think it was $500 million in cash, and he's like, shit, what do I do with this? And
Mm,
so according to him, he researched everything. Do I put into paintings? Do I put into wine? Do I put into bonds, gold, real estate, right? Eventually came to Bitcoin was the
mm,
only thing that wasn't going to, well, it was the best store of value, put it that way. It was the best
mm.
store of value. And so grew from there. And so now I do hold some MicroStrategy shares, which might go down for sure. I mean, it's
Yeah.
only a small percentage of my portfolio, but I also have a tiny bit of Tesla as well, right?
Yeah.
But most of it is in Bitcoin.
Did you
Definitely,
see?
yeah, you go.
Oh, I was gonna say, did you see one of these whales just pulled out 1 billion from the market?
He didn't. I don't think he pulled it out. He moved it to a different wallet,
I think.
and this came up on a conversation I just heard about today, actually.
Yeah.
But and there's a bit of talk about quantum computers and how it might be able to hack not so much Bitcoin wallets as a whole, but the early Bitcoin wallets, right? Because
Oh
they're on
wow.
basically like a different code, right?
Yeah.
And so there's some suggestion that the early Bitcoiners who are holding billions of dollars in these
Ah,
early wallets have moved it out and put it into safer, more secure, current cybersecurity type wallets. That
right.
that was the idea, yeah.
So he
So
still has his money in the market. essentially.
This is Michael you're talking about?
Oh no, the guy that pulled that, or he pulled the
Moved from one wallet to, just moved the Bitcoin from one wallet to a more
Oh,
secure wallet.
okay.
That was the discussion that was actually I heard this morning.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely
Ah, you
crazy.
Bitcoin guys scare me, man.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm going to bring him around at some
Yeah.
point. Daniel Holmes becomes the Bitcoiner.
Bitcoin.
You heard it from here
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
But look, I absolutely love what you're doing. Before we wrap things up, Daniel, you've been like an excellent guest. I really do appreciate your time and everything.
No worries, man.
Share with us some of the ways that people who are interested, because I'm open to everything, right? People want to make money. And I think let me say this, people who want to break the 9 to 5, buying into Bitcoin and then thinking they're going to get out of that within the next 6 to 12 months is not going to happen. Okay. Yeah. So that's why I love what you're doing. It's like, hey, you want to get out of the 9 to 5, trading could be the option for you.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe whether you allocate to Bitcoin later in life is not is irrelevant, right?
Yeah.
So how do people then get in touch with you, get into your community? And can I also ask, what is the perfect student for you, and how much money would they roughly need to get going?
Well, I'll answer the first question, which I think you were saying is, how would somebody get into this, or how would they make money out of this, or whatever it may be. And my answer is probably going to be different, and people might roll their eyes at this, but the reality is, it doesn't matter whether it's Bitcoin, trading gold, day trading, whatever. You will not make money in these markets until you work on yourself. So when I said
Right.
before, I alcohol, quit all these vices, all these self-sabotaging behaviors. In a sense, drinking alcohol is a self-sabotaging behavior. You have to quit all that shit, because if you don't, when it gets emotional on the charts, you will revenge trade, you will lose your money. It's inevitable. All right, that's the first thing. The second thing is, man, I'm on all the social medias, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Daniel Holmes Trades. There's different tiers to the mentorship. You can get the lower tier, mid tier, up tier. It is like relatively expensive for the one-on-one stuff. You know, you have unlimited one-on-one calls with me and stuff like that.
But can you
But
tell me, like, I mean, when you say expensive, you just made the point before about what's expensive.
yeah.
What is expensive?
I mean, $5,000 maybe.
Like
5 grand,
$5,000 a what? A year or like a
one
month
off.
or?
Yeah, for 6 months. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. I would say that's very
Not too
reasonable.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's another tier above that, but that's
It's on a
like the
case by
mid.
case.
Yeah, it is, and that's kind of like the mid higher tier, right? And then there's the
Okay.
lower stuff. But people think they come in and learn the strategy, and then they can. That's all they need. I'm like, this is a long-term game. There's no golden strategy that you're going to learn and make money from. It's about time on the charts, time learning the strategy, getting a real good pulse on it, and then that's where the money starts to come. But yeah, that's it, man.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm a big believer in learning from others who are doing. Yeah, that's why I think people should, if they're interested in trading, certainly hit you up, see what you're about, learn from people who are doing it right now in the trading
Yeah,
world. Yeah, I've certainly
exactly.
done really well. You know, when I went and did Amazon, I bought an Amazon course. I learned from a guy who was already doing Amazon,
Yes.
right? And then I did the VIP program because I
Yeah.
wanted to learn, one-on-one. I then got into the Bitcoin space. I then spent 20 grand for a year,
Yeah.
right? Learning how to do the Bitcoin thing. So,
But that's a winner's mindset. A winner knows that, because what idiots do is they think they're going to reinvent the wheel. I'm like,
right.
somebody else has already figured it out. Just pay them money and then you do that. Because the reality is, it's an ego thing. They try to prove that, oh, I did it. I did it all me. It's like, you're just trying to make money. You're not trying to do anything other than that. Like, there's nothing to prove. So yeah, I did the
Yeah.
same.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, Daniel. All right. Well, look, let's leave it there. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time all the way from Dubai.
Dubai. Habibi.
Habibi, all the way from Dubai. Daniel Holmes, the trader. Make sure you check him out on all the socials. And if you're interested in his program, just hit him up. And I'm sure he'd be absolutely happy to help you, especially if you're someone who wants to break out of the 9 to 5 and maybe even follow his footsteps, end up in Dubai because it's zero capital gains tax.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Daniel. Take it easy.
Brother, appreciate you.
Thanks for tuning in to Crypto Collective. If you've enjoyed this episode, the best way to show your support is to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast or Spotify, and make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss an episode. You can also find more of me at I'm Matthew Fraser on all social media platforms.